Because like I want to.
I know I would definitely try.
Okay. All right. Don't look up if you're still working. I need to make this go away. And it's frozen. It's frozen because of this. Okay. All right. So remember, third is orange. I really hope y'all are like pretty much like you have third squared away. By the way, online watchers, all day this week or every day this week, we're spending the first 5 minutes trying to remember the third and fourth declension from the top of our from the top of the dome, from memory, and then the black is fourth declension. Why is it still? Okay. All right. So yeah, you are getting green in a few weeks, but that's fifth declension. That's the last declension. It's really easy. We're not gonna like dwell on each third declension ending. Y'all should pretty much know them by now. And if you know fourth, like there's a lot of overlap. Fourth is it looks real second declension in the nominative, and then the genitive is this weird ending that we've never seen before. We've never seen this long US ending until fourth declension. And if you remember that genitive singular, that is also the nominative plural, is also the accusative plural. So bam, if you remember long US and you remember it's 3 spots, that is like almost half of the fourth declension right there. And then it gets the long I with the U for dative. So that's kind of like third declension, right? Apparently post third declension, long I is very much a dative kind of thing. It shows up in a lot of pronouns. It shows up in fourth, fifth, and third declension. The accusative is exactly what you probably guess it is. The ablative is what you guess it is. It's just a single long U. And then the plurals are pretty cool. We already talked about long US genitive, U-U-M. That's kind of like a version of the third declension genitive plural. And then it's ibis again for dative nominative plural. So I'm pretty sure tomorrow y'all should be able to write both third and fourth. I believe in you. I think you can. And that'll be cool. Whoever does that will either get the Sword of Damocles, the Apple of Knowledge, Terrence or Lucius, or a Lumpy Space Princess on their desk for the rest of class. Yes?
Sorry, I kind of blanked out. How will we get this?
If you tomorrow at the beginning of class get third and fourth declension in its entirety, and I look at it and all the endings are correct.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, because y'all are doing it's the same thing for y'all except it's first and second
Can I
declension.
go for the apple?
Yeah, you can go over the apple for sure. And then you can get 2 things potentially, Luke and Keaton, if you do why did I not? Anyway, if the perfect actives, the blue endings. Y'all should go to the blue endings too, right? I have verb, you verb, it verb, we verb, etc. And where are my passive ones? Stop talking. Oh, here they are. They're down here. Passive. Okay, those are passive. And now, no, I won't make y'all do this. Today so we did present passive yesterday. Those are the purple endings. I am a verb. You are verb. It is verb. We are verb. Y'all are verb. They are verb. Right? That was present passive. We talked about you can make them imperfect by adding a BA in front of them. So the BA goes between the verb stem and the ending. That is present passive. What was that noise? Who knows? What was that? I think it was Microsoft Teams. Somebody's chatting me on Microsoft Teams. So that is present passive. Now today we're going to do perfect. Guess the endings of perfect passive because they're all just related to the fourth principal part of a verb. But I'll kind of write them as we go. So what is neglectus est going to translate to? That's obviously going to be third singular. So what we did to form this perfect passive form of negleo neglegera is we took the fourth principal part, and we added it to est, the present third person singular form of sum esse. So what would that translate to? It what? It not, huh? It neglected would be perfect active. That would be neglexy. Neglexy, I need to fix that. Yeah, pretty much was neglected. Or yeah, that is exactly right actually. Except I kind of want to use our other helping verb. So was or were is okay for perfect passive, but since we already are used to the ones that start with H for perfect active, we should keep using it, huh? Yes, so it has been neglected, but was or were is fine too. But because I want to kind of like focus it, I'm just going to use has and have today. But was and were is technically okay too. So just like how imperfect active and perfect active can both be translated as just verbed, so too with perfect passive and imperfect passive. They can both be translated as was or were verbed. But let's think of this as has or have verb. I think that's just like easier on my mind. Yes?
Can I translate?
Yeah, very good. So it has neglected or has been neglected. So for perfect passive, before Lucy translates our example here, remember you're whipping out two helping verbs. So it's going to be has plus been. So maybe you're like, well, why can't I use was or were? Because it's just one helping verb. I don't know. I want to differentiate it from the imperfect passive. That if you don't like that, you can translate that this as it was neglected. But let's use have or has, right? Okay, Lucy, what is qui discipulus ludo malo neglectus est going to be?
Which student has been neglected by the school?
Yeah, very good, exactly. Which student has been neglected by the bad or evil school? Good. Is qui here an interrogative adjective or an interrogative pronoun? Is qui here an interrogative adjective or pronoun? Remember, this is like a tiny thing in chapter 19. It's not a huge deal. Interrogative pronouns ask these like broader questions like, who is the teacher today? Whereas interrogative adjectives ask things like, which teacher is teaching today? They ask something about a word in the sentence. So this is the adjective because we're asking about the discipulus. They don't look like they're both nominative, singular, masculine. They actually are. Qui qui fac is kind of weird. What case is ludo malo, Cora? Well, I guess ludo, but ludo malo go together. By the bad school. What case would that be? Just like with present passives, perfect passives are often going to have these whats. Carly, you forgot it? Okay. Parker? They're going to have these ablatives of either means or agent. If it's a thing, like a school is kind of a person, like a group of people. But this would probably be ablative of means. Ablative of means. Good. Okay. So let's just like compare this what we're doing with this little section to the lower right, to it's like all its other forms. So just present active would be neglegate. It neglects. It actively neglects. Simple present tense. Versus present passive, the stuff we looked at yesterday, that'd be neglegate pour, T-U-R, right? That'd be it is neglected instead of it has been neglected. And then perfect active would be neglects it. We would use this guy, the third principal part, and be it neglected. So are we kind of getting used to it? It feels like verb overload, but I think we're getting a handle on all of these. That's the point of this week. So hopefully next week we just feel like way more confident about translating verbs. And just to be clear, we are using, this is when we first use the fourth principal part. Is as of this chapter, I think chapter 19, that's when you finally actually use the fourth principal part. The good thing about the fourth principal part is unlike the third principal part, which I need to fix on this slide too, it is usually looking a lot like the first two principal parts. So there's no like, I mean, some of them might be a little weird, but most of them are like fine in terms of like reminding us of the first two principal parts. So yeah, we take this and that ending there, you treat it like an adjective ending. So apparently this this student, it's a masculine one, right? That's why it's getting the US. If we were asking about a girl student, it would be neglecta s. That's all we would do. So this part of it, the why did I typo this? Oh my gosh. Okay. That reflects the subject it's agreeing with in an adjective type way. So this part needs the fourth principal part of it needs to agree in case, number, and gender. And then this part agrees in person, number, and tense. So it agrees with the subject in a verby type of way. That probably sounds really complicated, so don't really worry about it if you were kind of losing me there. It's one of those things where when I start explaining it, it sounds more complicated than it actually is. All right, deleta sumus from deleo deleri. What would that be, Parker, Caden, or Keaton? Since we had some help from the first row for the first one. Let's delete, or Elena, I guess Elena didn't know. So what is deleta sumus going to be? It's obviously what person, Elena? What person is this person or number? Singular plural? Yeah. So once again, we're taking the fourth principal part. In this case, that is deletum, and we're adding it to sumus, because that's the first plural version of sum esse. So what would this be? Almost Caden, but maybe not. Parker?
We have been destroyed.
Yeah, we have been destroyed, right? We get the we from Sumus. We get the have been from the fact that we just know if it's in parts like this, it's perfect passive. And destroyed because it's perfect passive. And it needs to be have been verb. Okay, so we have been destroyed. Or we were destroyed. Let's go with have been. Okay. So everyone understands how this is formed. This delay to, I wonder why it's A. Does anybody know why this would be A here? Maybe because the we consists of both men and women, so it's going to be neuter. That's what that is. It's like plural neuter. All right, so nos. Uh-oh, we got a relative clause. Oh my gosh. Oh wait, it's freezing on me again. Okay. Nos, comma, qui Romam ob hostibus libera verunt. So let's handle that later. That relative clause that is nicely cordoned off with commas. Ab Augusto incepta sumus. Okay. Yeah, why did I need to like check the PowerPoints I make during student advisement. I need to check them because I think I'm like distracted or something. Delay to sumus. There we go. So what is just the main clause? Let's get Keaton to translate just the main clause.
I really don't.
No, that's the easy part. The relative clause is what's kind of feels like a lot. Notice I've Augusto delay to sumus. What's that going to be?
We have been destroyed by Augustus.
That's all it is. Yeah, yeah. So Augustus is what case and function there? Carly? Yeah, agent or means. Yeah, because he's a person. That's all that is. Yeah. And then ab or aw, the shortened version, that's always going to show up with the ablative agent, where it will not show up with means usually, right? Okay, and then so we have a relative clause that's telling us more about the we. We, who, qui, we, who, what? Luke?
Free.
Just free or?
Freedom.
No, we who, it is free,
Will free.
bullet tense. Not will free. Think of what we did on Tuesday. It's got that V, and then it's got a runt. This is active. No, what tense is this? Wait, what tense is libera verunt? That V is a big hint to me, just like the V in delay V would be a hint to me. With an a runt is that giveaway. This is blank active. Bailey? Think of Tuesday. What did we focus on? All, huh? It is active, Parker.
Perfect.
It's perfect active. So remember, guys, I mean, this should be on the big verb master chart we made last week, but that's what we talked about on Tuesday was a perfect active endings. Most of them have I in them, but the third plural, for some reason, it gets this long one that has an E. And remember, if you see at the end of a verb stem a V or an X or a U, probably perfect, and that can tell you it's perfect before you even see the perfect ending. So hopefully now Luke, Chloe, and Bailey, and maybe Keaton know that. Perfect. So we who freed, just freed, or have freed, I guess, freed what? Rome from enemies, We who have freed Rome from enemies have been destroyed by Augustus. Who would be saying this? Kind of Cicero.
No,
Yeah, well,
He wasn't even wasn't Augustus not even alive?
no, Cicero and Augustus overlap. Augustus is a very young man when Cicero dies. Mark Antony has Cicero beheaded. Cicero, though, was not part of the group of people who would probably maybe speak this way, which would be the Brutus and Cassius, the assassins of Julius Caesar. They thought they were like freeing Rome from enemies by killing Julius Caesar, but then Augustus just kind of like hunted them all down, and it didn't end up being the case. All right, okay. Cupitus S from cupio, cupire, cupiwi, cupitum, right? We're taking from the fourth principal part. It's obviously what person and number, Chloe? What person? S. What does that make us think of? First, second, and third person? Yeah. So this is, we're taking the fourth principal part, and we're adding it to S to make the second singular perfect passive. So this would be what, Chloe, or maybe Bailey? You what? You, not you desire, that's active. You, I make it passive. The you needs to be acted upon. You, not will, we're not in the future tense. What is our helping verb that we use it in the perfect tense? It starts with an H. But you have desired is still perfect active. We need to be perfect passive. So you Have been desired. Yeah. There's never been a bin in this class, but in one of my other Latin classes, there's a bin, like a dude named Ben. Remember that. You need to whip out this name, right? Isn't it funny? Some people walk around and their name is just a perfect, simple past helping verb, like Ben. But anyway, yeah, you need that bin. Now, that's why some people might like it more if it's like you were desired, because then it's just you're using one helping verb. But I'm going to insist on this. I'm going to stick with my guns. Have been. Have been. So let's just go through our chart so far. So it's you have been verb. And this is on the big verb chart we made last Monday. It has been. It changes to has to agree with third person. And then it's we have. It's have everywhere else. So I'm not going to write red for all of them. Have been. But have and been plus verb. That's how you make it passive. You'll actually understand. I know it feels like you're remembering a lot of like random information about verb tenses and these like the various helping verbs that we use for them. That's English's fault, honestly. That English relies on so many helping verbs. But you'll understand like the concept of a passive verb. The verb is happening to the subject, right? It's a big difference. Active verbs, the subject, it's always making a verb happen to a direct object. With passive verbs, the verb is actually like happening to the subject. It's like, yeah, it's happening to the subject. All right, O liberum tempus, exclamation mark. Ab discipulis cupitus est. Oh, I like this one. This is not liber libri like book. It's liber liberum like free. So, Carly, what do you think O liberum tempus would be? It's like a weird vocative thing. You remember what is the school called? Liberty. And liberty, if you have liberty, it means you are. So, oh, free, what's tempus? Yeah, oh, free time. And then what? Lucy, you want to finish it?
You have been desired by the students.
Yes, you have been desired or longed for by students and teachers at magistrates. Yeah, we had free time last week. That was nice. Right. Okay, so Cora, what case is discipulis? Is a pattern. I've included this in almost all of these. No, you might be thinking of third declension is, but this is long is. So it's either ablative or dative plural. So which one? Ablative. What kind of ablative, Elena? Means or agent? Yeah, because it's students. It's a person. It's a type of person. Yep, that's the only difference between them, basically. Let's compare this to perfect active. That would be cupivisti. I'm using the third person part. So it'd be you have desired. That's that really weird second person perfect active ending. If I made it present passive, like we talked about yesterday, that'd be cupitor. Oh wait, I'm sorry. It'd be cupiris. To make it second person. I even translated it that way. It'd be you are desired. You are, not you have been. And then Cupid, present active, would be just it desires. Good proofreading, Mr. Catalanello. Very good. All right, any questions about this one? Perfect passive is not bad, right? Right? Maybe it is. All right, admito sum. From admito, admitera, admisi, admitum, Keaton. What is this one going to be? What person and number is this? What person and number is admita sum?
Second person plural. Third person plural. First person singular.
Yes. Right? You recognize sum as first person singular, right?
Yeah.
Do you, Keaton? Do you recognize sum as a first singular kind of thing? The sum means I am when it's by itself, right?
Yeah.
I am, yeah. So fourth principal part, so we took admitum, and then we added to sum to make it first singular. And apparently this I it must be a woman, because it's a singular, so that's not like a neuter plural. So admito sum, what would that translate to Parker or Caden or Luke? Luke?
I let her in.
You said what?
I let her in.
No, so we're still doing, that's why I can tell we're still not quite understanding like the concept of passive. I let her in is still active. We need to be passive. So it's I have been, yeah. Remember, have plus been. You gotta whip out the have, you gotta whip out the been. Both of those things are necessary to make it passive, to make it perfect passive. Because yesterday we were doing present passive, and that was just like I am a verb. So we just needed one helping verb. I am verb, you are verb, it is verb. Now, if we're using have or has, which I'm going to insist on us using, it's going to be have or has plus been. So I am admitted or received. So in ludum optimum, optimum means best. I don't know if we have that. We'll have it soon. In terra admittasum. What's that going to be? This is like a real thing y'all are probably going to say out loud in like 4 years from now. You're all going to be walking around saying this. And you're going to say it in Latin too, because by then you'll have learned so much Latin that y'all will literally just walk around.
That would be
To be honest, I'll forget Latin in 10th grade.
No. Well, maybe you'll forget it for like a couple years towards the end of high school, but then whatever college you go to, they'll probably make you take a foreign language. If you're cool and you want an easy A, or should be an easy A, you'll just take Latin and you'll remember all of this stuff from like middle school and early high school.
Yeah.
And you'll get an A. It'll be great. That is true. Most majors make you take a little bit of a language. Maybe not every STEM major, like not all math majors. You in your college, you went to college? No.
It's old school.
Yeah, so if you knew Spanish better than Latin by then, you would take Spanish maybe. But some people don't do that. I had taken Spanish in grade school, and then I took Latin in college because I didn't enjoy Spanish, but that was my teacher's fault, not Spanish's fault. Lucy, what is this?
I have been let into the best school in the world.
Yes, I've been let in or admitted into the best school in the land or the world. Yeah, the world is fine too. Exactly. I've been admitted or received would be kind of weird. So admitted's good or let in. It's good. Let's compare this to the present passive. The endings we looked at yesterday, that'd be admittor. We just add the R to this basically. And that'd just be I am admitted instead of I have been. Let's the present active, just good old present active, what we had been able to do since like 2 years ago, would just be admitted. That'd be I admit, like I let something in, I let a direct object in. And admisi would be perfect active that we did on Tuesday. That would be I have admitted. This is another chance for you guys to honestly tell me if you truly don't actually understand the difference between passive voice and active voice. Tell me now if you don't. You know? All right. Okay, we got what, like 2 more? Recti sunt is going to be what person? Keaton again, I guess?
Third person plural.
There you go. Yeah. You know your Latin verb and things. Fourth. Ooh, this black's up. Okay, fourth. So we do the fourth PP plus sunt. That's all it is here. And that's going to be they have or has.
Have.
Yeah, you don't say they has. So they has been.
They has
So they have been what?
been ruled.
Yeah, ruled or guided. Good.
Has been guided.
So what is our example here? Discipuli per multos annos Latinae recti sunt, comma, et bene perantur. Oh, I snuck in a little present passive at the end here. But let's focus on the first part, the perfect passive. What's that gonna be? Someone hasn't translated yet, like maybe Chloe or maybe Carly or maybe Clayton or maybe Sarah, maybe Audrey should translate this. Anyone? What's the subject here? Or anytime we have a third person subject, the subject might actually be in the sentence, might be nominative. Carly, what do you think? Yeah, so the students. And then
Were guided.
they what?
They were guided.
Yeah, they have been guided or were guided. Let's say have been. They have been guided.
Through many years of
Latin.
Yeah, and
Oh, I was.
And
guided,
they-
actually. I didn't help. You said
they what? They not prepare actively. They passively, presently are
Prepared.
Or-
Wow.
well prepared. Yeah, okay. We got there.
We got it.
Yeah, but that is actually kind of nice to see. This is a perfect passive. Remember, when you see a verb split up into 2 chunks, Luke or whoever's back there, you should just know immediately it's perfect passive. And that's hard because you guys are often going to look at a sentence like this and think that the verb is just sunt. And you might think this is like a noun or something. I would not blame you. So you just got to be on your toes looking for that. And so this is actually a verb altogether. But once you realize it's a verb in 2 parts, you know it's perfect passive. Like that's just like, that's what it, I mean, it might be clear perfect passive. If this was like errant, we'll get to that in a second. But it'll be, whereas this is just present passive. You see the difference? So that's why this is are well prepared and this is have been guided. See the difference? Hopefully. Okay. So Rexay wrote that would be the perfect active, like we did on Tuesday. That'd be just they have ruled. They have ruled a direct object. Reagan Tour would be present passive, just like this guy, what we did yesterday. They are ruled as opposed to have been. And then good old present active, what we've known for years now, is just regular. They rule. That's what that would be. Okay, good. And now we have one last one. Apellati estis. I don't think I know this verb well, so here it is. Appello, appellare, appellavi, appellata means to speak to, address Luke, or call Luke. What person or number is this? What could it be? What could it be? For computer kids, I am writing these on the board. Here, I'll move my. No, wait, I can't. Really. Yeah, it's second person plural. Can I? No. Anyway, computer kids, I've been just like filling out the chart as we've gone with the perfect passive endings, but they're very clear and they're on your master verb sheet that you should have. If you come to school, if you're a computer kid, I might need to scan those in still to see, which I can do. I can do that. Carly made a very nice one that was scanned very nicely, and I'll do that. Or I'll just take a picture of my iPhone or something. I don't have an iPhone. Okay, appellati estis. What would this translate to, Carly? Yeah, and technically, like, you all have been called, but yeah, you have been named or called or spoken to exactly. So we got bonos to scipulos, etmalos to scipulos, magistris appellati estis. What? Wait, hold up. Oh, okay. So, okay, interesting. So what function are all of the first four words? 5, I guess, if I include the conjunction. What are they, Cora? What case are bonos to scipulos and malos to scipulos? I don't know why I made them all feminine.
Are they all like genitive or dative?
No, not genitive or dative.
No.
This is my favorite case, so you should really know this case.
Oh.
So some of us still need to review first and second declension.
Is it like?
Yes, because it's what kind of object, Parker? Yeah, those are direct objects. So call is weird. Calling can take 2 direct objects. Because I can like call a student good or something. That's not a good example. But that would be like the student and the word good are both a direct object. Anyway, I'm confusing you. But so it's still going to be you all have been called. And I had to go with first declension endings, feminine endings, because I went with the feminine ending for the fourth principal part. So you all have been called what? Who wants to finish it off? I don't know if this is true for anybody in here. Yeah, something about by teachers. Well, what have you been called? You all have been called.
Oh, good students. bad
Yeah, you've been called good students, and you've been called bad students by teachers. And then it's like, what is qui-es? What would that be? Yeah, it'd be like, who are you, or like, which are you? Do I not translate it? Weird. Okay, I don't even translate it. But you all have been called good students and bad students by teachers. Ablative of agent, because teachers are people. Believe it or not. Who are you? Who are you? All right, let's compare it here. This is our last comparison. Epilavistis, that really weird perfect active second plural ending istis, you all have called a direct object something. Epilamini, present passive that we learned yesterday, you all are called instead of have been. And then epilatus would just be present active. You all call. Okay, and then what happens if I, instead of epiletai estis, change it to epiletai eritis? What does that eritis do to it? Don't freak out. This is just that we have to add a little bit to perfect passive before we're done talking about it. What would that be? It's not going to be you just have been called. What does eritis make y'all think of? Does it make y'all think of the future or the past? So it would be you all will have been called. So future perfect passive is the one that's really crazy because it gives 1, 2, 3 helping verbs, but you're just adding will. And so let's review that now. So these are all the present passive. There you go, online kids. You didn't even need me to make the chart the whole time. That's present passive endings. You can write them down and pause if you need to. But then the old mascot who shouldn't be here, he's not invited, is telling us that we use the present form of sum esse to make perfect passive, and we use the future form of sum esse to make future perfect passive stuff. And then we use the imperfect form of sum esse, which I'm going to show you in a second, to make pluperfect. Sounds confusing when you say it out loud, but it's less confusing when I don't say it out loud. So the pluperfect endings, instead of sum ss, sumus estis sunt, are going to be eram, eras, erat, right? So eram, eras, erat, when those are verbs by themselves, that means I what? Not I am, but I, these are imperfect. Anyone? Was, you, were, it was, we were. But when we attach them to a fourth principal part, that is how we get the pluperfect passive. So we're still using the fourth principal part in the same way we would for just regular perfect passive. With its pluperfect passive, the only difference is instead of saying have been, we're going to say had been. Okay, real easy. That's not bad, right? And then the version of epilatai that we just saw, that was future perfect. So we use the future form of sum esse. So laudatus ero, I will have been praised. You will have been praised, etc. All right, how are y'all feeling about perfect passive?
Great.
And y'all feel like a little less great about future perfect and pluperfect, but you're like, I could probably still handle that too, actually? How do y'all feel about present passive? Okay, because that's what we did yesterday. That's who can rattle off the present passive endings right now? Did we get sort of Damocles for the last 10 minutes of class? Are, ris, tour, more, many, and tour. All right. Since I know Parker really truly wants this, I'm sure you do. But yeah, so let's see. We have to go all the way back to find those, but y'all should know. So those purple ones. So like for tomorrow, I'll add perfect passive to this. But again, perfect passive, like if you're writing that out, so that's just fourth principal part plus sum ss. So it's almost like I don't need to write it out. Like if you know sum ss, sumus ess, sunt, and you have a verb dictionary entry in front of you, you should be able to form the perfect passives. They don't, in a way, they're actually nicer to form because you don't have to remember R, ris, tor, more, many, intor like Parker has. Because it's just like, yeah, I assume y'all kind of know sum ss, sumus ess, sunt. Maybe you don't know eram, eras, erat, and ero, eris, erit, but you kind of do as well. And then perfect active. Y'all should all get perfect active on your verb chart tomorrow at the beginning of class. And you should get present passive too. And like I said, you don't really need perfect passive. Like, it's sum esse. We've had sum esse since chapter 5, man. All right. I don't know. Do you want to translate English into Latin? No. Okay. So let's just say the case of these 6 words over here. And then you'll be done. I'm going to come around and tell you if you still owe me a makeup quiz tomorrow, so you know what to be ready for tomorrow, and then we'll be done. But, okay, so we got some third declension. And this side, I actually really do. All right. All right. Stop sharing.
Yeah.
All right, last thing. Let's. All right, communi is a third declension adjective. The red ones are third declension. I just need y'all to tell me what case these are and what case those are. Those are fourth declension. These are third declension. This is a third declension adjective. Communis, communa, Keaton. What case is it there? Communi with the long I. You don't know? It's third declension. What does the long I mean to you, Lucy? Nominative? Interesting. I wonder what you're thinking of, huh? You know? Think of third declension and think of third declension adjectives, which are a little different than third declension nouns. Luke?
Dative.
It is dative, or it can also be anyone. This is hard. I don't expect y'all to know this. Because it's a third declension adjective, it can actually also be third declension ablative as well. I should probably make my handwriting at least passable enough to scan. Oh, that's still horrible. But I should probably add like an orange I right here, because a lot of third declension ablatives get the same ending as the dative. Eudicibus from Eudex, Eudicus. What is that, Caden? Dative or what, Parker? Yeah, dative or ablative, singular, plural? Yeah, that's plural. Okay, because that ibis should really kind of scream out to us. Though nowadays that could be fourth declension ablative, but either way, it's ablative dative plural, third or fourth declension. And then gravum from gravis grava. What would that be, Elena? Yeah, we should know and love our third declension accusative singular ending because it's very distinct and it's not super hard to keep track of. By the way, Cora, a lot of like younger seventh graders keep asking about these. Like, you probably only think Tristan is interested, but like, there's a lot of kids who are like, "Who did that?" I'm like, "Come to my essay if you actually like want to like ask her about them." Anyway, Senatus, fourth declension. These blue ones are fourth declension. What would Senatus be with the long US? Marker. Or what, Luke? Wait, singular or plural now? Not singular. It would actually be plural. Or what else?
Causative.
Causative? Yes. Accusative. Singular, plural.
Plural.
Plural. And then what else? Give me one other thing. Carly? Huh? Genitive, yeah. So when you see the genitive singular, so if you see a fourth declension with the long US, that is one of these three things. What is Saint Sue going to be? Bailey, what's Saint Sue going to be in the fourth declension with just to you? Say it again? Yeah, case. Ablative, yeah. Because ablative loves, it's just like single vowel endings, especially long ones except for third. It's just a normal E. And then spurium. What is spurium? What does that mean? Cora, did I make a word up?
Accusative.
Yeah, it'd be accusative. Now, what if it was so that'd be accusative, but what if, like, is this an actual word? Spiritus? Oh, that's, I'm trying to say spirit. Spiritum. Now, what if I say spirituum? I was like, what is spirit? What with two U's, that would be what, Keaton? That'd be genitive plural. Okay, we are done for today. All right, we're going to get on to chapter 21 next week. It's going to be great. Okay, goodbye. No video on Friday.